Hello, am I audible?
Hello, yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the winners interviews of IEEE Game Jam 2025. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to welcome and thank Mr. Hussain Zaidi, one of the esteemed judges of IEEE Game Jam 2025. We truly appreciate your time and support in being a part of this event, sir.
Hey, thanks. Great. It's great to be here. I'm happy.
Thank you. So, in our event, the competition was really tough and really close. However, we can only have three winners. All the entries were very strong, very solid. The final score was first place to Hollowbound, second place to Echoes in the Dark, and third place to Space Swarm. Is the team behind Hollowbound in the call with us right now?
Yes, we are here. Just two of my members, they're outside. They're just joining in a while.
Okay, sure. While your members join, can you quickly introduce yourself and the team that you worked with?
Yeah, my name is Sadia Pirzada. I'm a second year Bachelor's of Computer Application student. We were building this game and we thought of an idea. I basically did all the technical stuff along with my teammate Sadia Zafreen, who was also there with me during the technical stuff. And it was Hania's idea who debugged it, and also the idea of the game and the story entirely.
Okay. Uh, First of all, I'd like to ask you that when you got the theme Lost Signal, how did you exactly think of connecting Lost Signal, the theme Lost Signal, to a horror game?
Well, actually,
Probably,
you answer that.
okay. So probably we thought of something that lost signal as a disconnection from real world.
Okay, I see.
That's like the whole game is disconnection from real world.
Interesting concept.
Well,
Uh,
actually,
yeah,
it was a little, it was like the main ideas. I thought that people might be going into the sci-fi thrillers. So we wanted to do something that was out of the box. So that's when we thought of let's do something that's a bit unique. And we came up with Lost Signal. It's like the disconnection of people who are actually the outsiders to the current world. So
I really like where you went with the concept, as you said, it really stood out among the entries. The next thing I would like to ask you is what exactly birthed the idea of Hollowbound? Like, what was your thought process? What was the design process? How exactly did you came to this Hollowbound?
Yeah, so the idea, the storyline was of my friend Hania, who reads a lot of mangas and animes. So basically, and the game idea was hers as well. So we wanted to do something that was a bit like Granny itself, but with our own twist to it. So that's how we came up with it, and the process of it was basically we wanted it to be ideal for a 3D environments and all the lighting. So it was basically we focused a lot on the atmosphere and the exploration basically.
We kind of like had a backstory to Suzuka as well. So like that's how the character Suzuka came into view. And we continued it. So should I actually tell you about it?
Next thing that I'm interested in knowing is that your game was, I think, one of the only two 3D entries that we had in our game jam. What challenges did you face while developing Hollowbound and how did you overcome them?
So basically, what was difficult was like each key object had a collider and a tag. So while we were placing the three keys, we always had this like problem, like we weren't able to place the three keys differently. So that was one issue which we had to overcome. Which
You and
yeah, sorry,
yeah,
the
okay.
mic just shut down. Yeah, so basically we had to overcome that by actually placing them within the same that. And then another thing was that was difficult was actually exporting it from Mac OS to Windows, which was a little trouble for us. So we had to install the Windows build support, and then we had to so that we the game can be built as in a standalone in the exe version. So that was a challenge for us.
Uh, Great effort by you all in completing the game. Next, I would like to hear Hussain Bhai's opinion on the game. When you played Hollowbound, what did you experience? How did you feel?
Yeah, right from the start,
Hussain Bhai, I think you're not audible.
I was reading about it, so it felt like, yeah, something horror games. So the flashlight games. So it was an interesting genre. And one interesting thing which I read was that all of the 3D meshes, like many of them were generated from using some AI generation model. So I wanted to see. So I was interested to see how good the quality of the models were. And I like that the atmosphere was nailed out of the box, where the models and the color, the themes, the art, all was going well together. And yeah, and it was put together in such a short span of time. So yeah, the also yeah, I think nailing the atmosphere. It's plain to see that a lot of effort was put in uh, putting that atmosphere down. So I was impressed by that. And yeah, the level map was also nice. It was felt like a maze. And but yeah, once so the problem with horror games is that when that illusion breaks down, so because of some glitch, I was able to see like the character was the main villain was stuck in some place. So once that illusion breaks down, then it feels like a game. But it's a 72-hour game jam, so it's expected. But it was, yeah, it was good effort, especially on the atmosphere.
Thank you for your input, Hussain Bhai. Let's consider that Hollowbound continues to evolve and improve. What improvements or what changes would you like to see?
Uh, uh, I think, yeah, having more story, like you mentioned, like Hani mentioned, that there was more story to the character. So maybe having that come up in the game at the start probably. And yeah, having more levels. Like here, the gameplay was simple, that we had to collect three keys. uh, how that can be made into more that there is a uh, like you're in an stuck in the wood is making a lot of sound, so you have to tactically avoid the wooden parts and navigate through the level, like some, yeah, expanding more on that ideas and trying out new level design and gameplay ideas with that. So but yeah, I think having more story at the start would be interesting.
Mhm. Uh, Sadia, would you, if you had the opportunity to improve Hollowbound, and which I hope that you will in the future, what changes would you like to make to it personally?
I completely agree with Hussein Bhai. I think a small storyline would be better, and along with that, we'll work on the better lighting transitions as well, and we definitely want to include in more interactive elements like the doors or the puzzles. Actually have a storyline. We find add in some extra audio recordings that the player finds. Then basically you uncover the entire story of the like the Suzuka, how she was, why was she there, and everything basically like that.
I think we should also try expanding the map. Like Hassan bhai that day tried to go upstairs, but he wasn't able to. So we can change that as well. Little, you know.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for your thoughts, Sadia. Uh, Thank you for coming to the interview. It was very nice talking to you and getting to hear. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
Suzanne.
one question I had, like, can you like explain how well did that 3D modeling uh, help you? Like, was it very easy to just prompt it and get what you desired, or did you iterate a lot, or how did you, yeah, explain that process? Like, I'm interested to learn.
Yeah, so basically, since it was a game jam, we had 3 days for it. So we didn't want to waste a lot of time, building everything from scratch. So we went with Meshi AI. So it's while I was learning about game development, so this was something that came across, and I thought let's give it a try. So over there, we had this section. We already had some built-in characters in that as well, and there was this one section where you can give your own prompt. So there was one issue with the credits. We only had one day, and within that you could use a little bit of that only. So we never got Suzuka on first try. It was actually we finalized her on third day actually. So basically it was we had to actually change a lot of aspects. Like we were not happy with the design at first. We wanted it not to be too scary, and so it wasn't very easy. But I wouldn't say it was that difficult as well. We had some pre-existing options, and with ChatGPT you can create a prompt that is up to your like whatever you want, and then you'll get exactly what you desire.
Okay, and the static meshes in the levels, were they also 3D generated, or was it like some pack?
No, that was Unity's texture array. We use that for that.
The beds and furniture
No,
3D
no, no,
generated, like,
that was Meshi AI, but some of the terrains, like the grass and everything
okay,
outside, the trees and everything, that was by Unity's terrains that we had.
okay, so the mesh AI furniture, that also was like uh,
That was from Meshi AI, but the terrains, like talking about
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that was from the Unity's texture pack that
Okay,
was
so
accessible.
the furniture was generated and that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
easy
yeah,
to generate.
yeah. With a little bit of prompts here and there, so it was working for it. It wasn't
I see.
that big of issue. The technical stuffs were like to get the keys together within the different rooms. That was a problem because with the colliders and the objects, it was triggering.
Hmm. Yeah, I think, yeah, you can maybe, yeah, go through. Did you use Unity, right? So yeah, the collider
Yeah, we used Unity.
trigger or something, not sure, but yeah, masks are also there. But yeah, nice effort.
Sorry to interrupt, but Hussain Bhai, I believe that your voice is breaking in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll join. I think a signal is. Let me join again.
Okay, sure. In the meantime, does anyone else have any questions for Sadia and the team behind Hollowbound?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, please continue. Yeah.
So thank you, Sadia, for joining us for the interview. And now we will be moving to the next team. The next game, which won in the IEEE Game Jam, the second position holder is Echoes in the Dark. Is the team behind Echoes in the Dark in the call?
Yes.
Okay.
So hello everyone. I'm Hera. I'm Hera Zaidi. I'm a first year BCA student. And I'm responsible for the graphics of the project. And Aisha Nusrat Khan, my fellow member, she's responsible for the game engine, and Sumaya Khatun is responsible for the audio and sound. At first we thought of making something similar to Subway Surfers, like the character would keep running until it found the lost signal. This idea was super common and it didn't sit right with us. So we thought harder about the topic and came up with something else. Then we decided we wanted a game that was retro space coded. Later we created a game, but then it directed towards Pac-Man. Again, it was super common. So we thought about the theme, the lost signal, and we decided we wanted a game where darkness is the lost signal and the pings are the echoes. The echoes would illuminate our way through the walls in order to reach the darkness. Before there were vacant spaces, so we put a maze instead, which the player has to solve and find the exit and then move on to the next level. And also, the darkness wasn't challenging enough, so we put obstacles like poisonous water. We were inspired by Water Girl and Fireboy here, and at the end, we integrated Fireboy and Water Girl and Pac Man and made something unique out of it.
The idea behind Echoes in the Dark was amazing. It really stood out with its uniqueness. The concept
Oh,
of
thank you.
pinging to find the maze, that was really well thought out, and it really fit the theme.
Oh, thank you
What
so much.
what challenges did you face while you were developing the game, and how were you able to overcome them?
The biggest challenge was the time constraint because we had like so many ideas flooding up, and we didn't really have much time to put everything all together. In fact, after we submitted the game, right, we had like more ideas that came up, so we gotta improve it more. The time constraint was like a really big problem.
I see. I see. Uh,
Yeah.
Hussain bhai, what are your thoughts on the game, and would you share your opinion of it with us, please?
Yeah, I think like the way how the theme was fully integrated into the gameplay was, I think, among the best in the in this competition, because having signal and having darkness, having all of those concepts is what made this. So it was not just that it was in fun. So I was hooked initially, trying to figure out the maze, trying to see okay how I can ping, like how often can I ping. There's a resource constraint over there, and then there's a maze element and also a riddle element. So it was very interesting and kept me hooked actually. So even though all of the elements were simple, but because it related with this lost signal concept, it was very interesting to go through the whole thing. And it's a unique, it's not commonly seen, like these mechanics are also not very commonly seen. It's a like when I'm hearing the thought process right now, it makes sense to me that it's a combination of a lot of elements which makes it unique. So full points on the uniqueness part and use of the theme part, and it was also engaging. So that was also cool. One question I had is, how did you like? mechanism in the darkness, because
Uh,
would have been a
but
engine was used. I was also not
sorry
sure.
to interrupt, Hussain Bhai, but your voice got cut off. Can you repeat the question that you asked Hira again?
What? How was the pinging mechanic? The darkness. I think that would have been tricky to code. So how, like, explain the journey for coding that? Was my voice fine
Yes,
or?
yes, your voice was fine. Hira, were you able to hear the question?
Could you please repeat?
Okay, Hussain Bhai asked
On
that
mute,
the
like.
concept of disappearing mazes, the darkness, we have to ping, then the maze appears, then after a certain time, the maze vanishes and it's darkness again. That must have been pretty difficult to code. So, what was the coding process of it? How were you able to achieve that? Was I audible to you?
Yeah, I could hear.
I think Hira is having some issues with the
Hmm.
voice. Uh, is any other member of the team in the call with us? If you can, like, just ping Hira and tell her that her voice is not available to us.
Oh, so like,
Yeah,
so the concept for the ping, we came up with that for like how owls and bats, right? They can't see in the dark, so they use their voice to like echo from stuff, so they can move around. So that's what we thought of. Like the alien could ping, and the ping could generate an echo, and
yeah,
then that's how the maze would be illuminated,
yeah.
and you could move through the maze that way. We actually originally thought of a lot of ideas, but we couldn't all integrate that in the code since we were short on time. So we just submitted what we could at the time.
Nice, nice. Yeah, cool.
Uh, like, what concepts did you use for coding that part? Can you elaborate on that a little?
Can you please repeat that?
Uh, what concepts did you use to program that part, to code that part of pinging and the disappearing mazes? Can you elaborate on that a little?
We used sounds to like we used sounds to code the mm, how do I say this? The concept was that when you ping, it would when you ping, you would be able to generate a sound that would bounce to the walls and then illuminate the area. Uh, like it would start small and then expand outwards and then fade away gradually.
Nice. Nice. Thank you. Thank you for expanding on it. Hussain Bhai, what improvements would you like to see in the game in the future?
Yeah, one thing is like, yeah, it's like a common thread among all games is that having not like a tutorial, but some way of teaching the player how to use game mechanics is really important. So like initially I had the misconception that
All
I
right.
think those majority of the game mechanics were very clear, but some of those could have been improved a little. And I haven't finished like the game. Like uh, I'm not sure if there is like something cool at the end, but yeah, I've reached till the fifth level. So maybe instead of like uh, yeah, having more variety as you go along the levels, that could have been interesting. And sometimes it felt like there were a lot of constraints, like I had to take care of the darkness, and the walls also kill me, and I also have limited number of pings. I think it was a good balance of being hard and not easy. So I guess nothing needs to be improved there, but maybe increasing the variety as you go across the levels. Also, the riddles. Also, I was uh, basically was having a free form text. I didn't solve the riddle, but I'm not sure. Like you can type a lot of things in the text chat, so maybe having some control over those riddles, like maybe making it an MCQ or maybe something like that could have. Uh, because otherwise, I was thinking like, how would I solve the riddle? And there was a harsh penalty also, I guess, for not solving it. Yeah, the game you just die. So I stopped checking for the riddles then. So yeah, maybe that nailing that balance down, maybe that would be a great improvement.
Thank you for your input, Sandbhai. Uh, if Aisha, if you guys continue to improve the game, Echoes in the Darkness, what changes would you make?
So the changes we want, there's like a ton of them, and it would take a lot of time to like really finalize the project. But one of the main things that we want is like at the end, after you finish all 10 levels, when you finish the 10 levels, right now it's just a pop-up that says signal restored, right? So we just thought of this, but we could have like integrated like a flash, and then it goes to it shows a space system because the alien, it's in space, right? The theme is space. So then at the end, when you finally reach level 10 and you complete level 10, you could like get a flash after you enter the exit. You'll get a flash, and then you'll see a space system, and then that's when the pop-up of signal restored would come in. Apart from that, we also had this idea after watching that stream. We also had this idea like
A good ending is satisfying.
the water could actually be signals, and like you have to collect all of the signals first before you can access the exit, and the obstacle could be something else instead. That's also what we thought of. There's like a really long list of what we wanted to add, but there wasn't much time. So that's it.
Thanks a lot, Aisha. Would anyone like to ask any question to Aisha and the developers of Echoes in the Dark? I believe that there are no more questions. Okay, then moving on. Thank you, Aisha, and everyone behind Echoes in the Dark. It was a truly fun game, and I really, really loved the path you took with the game. Thank you for joining us. Next on the list, we have my personal favorite game, Space Swarm. Are
Yes, hello.
the developers of Space Swarm are with us?
Yes, we're all here.
Yes, we are.
Okay, let me pin all of you first. Anzar, and who is the third member of your team?
It's Aslam.
Aslam.
Aslam Mirza.
Aslam, Assam Mirza. Okay. So, welcome to the interviews. First of all, I would like everyone to introduce themselves, starting from Moon.
I'm Mohammad Samir. I'm doing second year BCA, and I've been a gamer since basically I was very little, ever since I knew how to hold a mouse. And I was very stoked to join this, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Uh, Ansar,
Hi, I'm Anzar Farman, and I'm a second year student of PCA. And just like it's like Samir, I've been a gamer for over 15 years, and I've been very passionate about both 3D modeling and game development. So I saw this as a great opportunity to showcase my skills.
and lastly, Assam. Uh, okay.
Hello,
Yes, yes. Please introduce yourself.
Asna Mirza. I am Asna Mirza, student of BCA second year. I am also very passionate about game development.
Nice to have you all here. First, the first thing I would like to ask you is how, when you got the theme Lost Signal,
Yeah.
how did that translate into Space Storm? What was the thought process?
Okay, so we got the theme right, and Lost Signal. The first thing that ran to my head was the game Returnal. If you've ever played that, it was a big release last year. It really last year. It was released with the PS5, just got ported to PC last year. So they incorporated the whole Lost Signal, the space and roguelike elements in that. So we were very inspired by that. Also, there's a game called Megabonk and Vampire Survivors. Megabonk just released. It's been making waves in the indie industry right now. Every streamer is playing it. It's going very popular. So we were like, we can make something similar to that. But it was mostly inspired by Vampire Survivors. We wanted to make something like that, but just in 3D. So that was the main inspiration behind that.
I see. And I noticed that the choice of your engine was Godot. So why
Yep.
Godot? Why go for Godot?
We were initially planning to go for Unity, but since we were to handle a lot of particles and stuff, and Unity's particle system is notoriously horrendous, right? And we saw that Godot had streamlined their 3D work, right? It used to be a 2D only engine, but recently they've branched on to 3D, and they have streamlined in a way so that 3D games are just as easy as 2D games to make, and that it's very easy to quickly get
Yeah,
up on the nodes and stuff. There's not a lot of complex UI and stuff you have to learn and go through and everything.
and Godot is also a much better engine if you have a short deadline and you have to make games quicker. Whereas Unity, things tend to be a lot more time consuming compared to Godot, where the process is very streamlined.
Exactly. Also, coding in Python was just, it was great.
Okay, so Godot is a Python-based engine.
It actually
That's
uses
news to me.
And actually, incorrect. It's actually a GD script, which
GD
is their
script.
own language. However, it is can be considered a variant of Python, but it's still a new script that I had to learn. But it wasn't too difficult, honestly, because it's similar to the ones I previously know.
Yeah.
That's great. What challenges did you face during the development and how did you overcome them?
For us, honestly, the biggest issue was actually optimization, because unsurprisingly, having so many characters with proper physics collisions 60 times per second was very CPU heavy. So, and another issue we faced was actually topology, because I've been 3D modeling for over 5 years, but I've only done it for animations or still images where topology isn't a huge issue. However, when you import those models into games, you have to keep in mind how dense the models are, or else your FPS tanks. And that was my first mistake. So first, I had to retopologize my models to be a lot low poly, so that it was easier to have multiple instances of them. And then second was the physics. So collision was out of the option because it was far too heavy. So what we had to do instead was write a code which was constantly check the distance of every enemy from other enemies, and it would basically add a repulsion vector so that the distance was all a minimum distance was always maintained between the enemies, and they would not stack while still normalizing with the vector which moves them towards the player. which honestly took a long time. And getting both the vectors to work together was difficult, and I had far too much of an ego to stoop low enough to use AI. So I spent almost 2 hours trying to figure out how to make it work, but
We were up
fortunately, and
until
we were
like
successful.
6, 7 a.m. trying to figure just that physics stuff out.
Samir and I had a 17-hour
Right.
call. We
Yeah,
worked
we
for
had a
17 hours
17 hour
straight.
call. We were just scripting, that's it.
I saw the screenshot you shared. I believe it was a 17-hour call on Discord.
Yeah. We're not
Yeah, it
proud of
was.
that.
Wow.
Great
The
work,
power of
guys.
Monster.
Great work, guys. Great work, honestly. Hussein Bhai, what was your experience playing the game, and what
Yeah,
would you like to share with the team?
yeah, this was also a favorite of mine, and yeah, it was, yeah, Vampire Survivors inspired, and I was right out of the gate. The starting intro kept me hooked. Like that was a good sequence, and
Thank you.
yeah, it's important part of game making, like setting the lore, setting the uh, having the premise explained to you, and in a funny way. It was very nice. It was a good touch. So, and yeah, the gameplay was also cool. Like just having that sort of addictive loop. Like I could see the start of the addictive loop over there, where I want more guns, more faster upgrades, better armor. So that loop was nice, and having the villains was also. It felt like I haven't played Mega Bonk, but now I'm going through the images, and yeah, it is basically 3D Vampire Survivor. So I haven't. Yeah, I didn't know how this Vampire Survivor thing would work in 3D, but yeah, this was pretty cool. And yeah, it was very funny. It was nice.
Thank you so much. One funny thing about that intro was that we had no time for the intro cutscene, right? And as we advertise in our game, we're big advocates of not using AI in generative and creative work, right? So we had to stay awake for so long just trying to storyboard it, and we ended up scrapping the entire cutscene idea and making a slideshow, which was I drew it intentionally goofy and very rough to give that effect of humor. So I'm glad it's having that effect.
Yeah, that was pretty effective. Like you don't need, yeah, a slideshow itself is quite enough
Yep.
to sell the story. Nice. And yeah, the songs and sound effects were also very good.
All the song
So the
sound effects
music
and songs
was
were
also
done by
made by
us.
Asna.
Yeah,
The
they
Oh,
were
main
all
okay.
menus
What
music was made
software?
by me, and the other music were used by Asna. We used a Bosca Seol,
yeah.
which lets you create a 16-bit music basically. It's a very simple tool compared to something like FL Studio or Ableton. So I was able to cook up the main menu music in like barely half an hour, but it was all done by me. And then the main music was made by Asna.
Nice, nice. What was used for the main music? Like,
There's a software called Bosco, right? And that was
okay,
used for
okay.
the main music. And I believe Asna used a mix of Bosco and GarageBand.
Awesome, awesome. That's, yeah, really good. Yeah, really nice effort. I mean, you can use AI for debugging. I don't see an issue with it. But yeah, so
Obviously,
Honestly,
we're
one
just
of my main intentions with this competition was genuine experience and getting to actually apply skills. And it's like, if I just wanted to AI, I could have done it for a personal project. But if I'm here for a competition, I'd rather legit give it my best. Because what's the point otherwise?
yeah,
and
Just
agreed,
do it
also
for AI
agreed.
at least.
I've seen that the gaming industry in general has been starting to get very oversaturated with just people shoveling out games, right? There's no real
Mm,
passion behind it, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. And I remember back in the day there were stuff on, like we talked about in the group with Miss Pavai, stuff on Newgrounds and indie games
correct.
back in the day that like really showed character and it showed personality, it showed actual effort and passion put in by someone. They weren't making games to really prove a point, or they weren't making it to earn money. They were making it out of a genuine place of care for the entire industry, right? So we want to bring that back into the industry, and I hope to be able to do that in the future as well.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Definitely, yeah. Having a whole game just coded up for you, you will get something very average and cash grabby. But I think using AI as a tool where needed to unblock you will actually accelerate you, and yeah, you can show your passion through your design choices, which, yeah, you've done it.
Thank you.
Nice.
The
So
inspiration was drawn from the opening music of Among Us, and battle music was inspired by the Pokemon battle music, with a hint of touch from a topic we were given Lost Signal. I made it.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So that was cool. And you've also done the 3D modeling and the skeleton animations as well. Uh,
Anzar did all of that.
Uh, yeah, that was my. Now, honestly, I will be upfront. Some of the meshes weren't made completely from scratch, but I used like blank base models at least just to save time. By the main characters, like and all the important meshes were made completely from scratch by me, including animation and rigging, for which I
nice.
used Cascador.
Oh, okay. So it was not in Blender.
The modeling was in Blender, and then the animation was in Cascador, and then it was finally imported into Godot.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. Yeah. I have to figure it. Yeah. I'll have to go through these tools soon. Nice.
It's a personal request of mine. Can you all share all the tools that you use in the group? Because honestly, the variety of tools that you people have talked about is really interesting here.
Yeah, so for all the pixel art, I've used Sprite, and for the opening cutscene, which is all hand-drawn by me in a software called Paint Tools, I do all my digital artwork there. And of course, the game was made in Godot. The music was done in Bosco, Seoul, and GarageBand, as Asna mentioned, she did all of that. And for the video editing, I had to download Adobe Premiere because it didn't have editing software, and I just formatted my PC, so we were panicking, so I had to do it all in Premiere. Downloading it. Is there anything I'm missing, Anzar? Is that all?
No, I believe that's it.
Okay.
Uh, okay, Hussein bhai, if the game progresses in the future, what changes would you like to see in the game?
Um, yeah, I think having heals or yeah, some placements on the map, making the map a little more interesting, like maybe having some obstacles. Uh, that's one thing. All of the enemies, also increasing variety in enemies, making the powers like the guns more powerful, like having more crazy effects so that the whole screen is filled with particle effects and all. That yeah, that'll get you the power trip which you would get from Vampire Survivors or something like that. And yeah, it's a pretty clear uh, path to improving the game.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Uh, the team, what changes would you like to see in your game in the future if you do continue to improve it?
I actually genuinely do want to keep working on it with Anzaria and Asna. It was very fun. The project and the whole competition, everybody was very nice. I like being here. And the main changes that I would like to make, we plan more enemy types, right? So they would spawn in an interval of 3 to 5 minutes. We tried putting that in, but there were some issues with that, so we weren't able to implement that into the final version. So we'd like to add variety, and we'd like to balance our game a lot more and add a lot of weapons, because that's the main gameplay loop, right? We're supposed to mix and match different things in order to have different outcomes of our runs. So we'd love to add more of that. And some other polishing bits would be some shaders. We actually spent a good hour or two on figuring out the shaders for Godot, but because we were importing it from Blender, so Godot wouldn't actually let us
Yeah.
apply the. Yeah, Anzar.
Yeah, honestly, I would say this is the one flaw of Godot. So we
Yeah,
wanted to apply cell shading and an outline system to the mesh to make it pop out and stick out a bit more, almost like an art style of ours. However, Godot, for some odd reason, places a lot of restrictions if the model was imported. And I honestly have no clue how you would model inside of Godot. So since everything was from Blender, I could not add cell shading properly. So we had to skip out on that. And beyond that, we did actually have a few weapons that we were developing, but due to time restraint, we weren't able to fully implement them. So we ended up with just five.
I won't lie. We had an entire weapon that we forgot to code in. We had a plasma rifle, and we just remembered it in the last second. Did oh, we had to code in a plasma, but there was not enough time for that, so we had to scrap that. And so I think I had the entire pixel art and everything done for it. We'd like to add more of those as well.
And yeah, having feedback, like hit feedback on the enemies,
Yeah,
like it makes your
exactly.
guns yeah, feel powerful.
Hmm.
So I guess yeah, that was due to the shaders, which that's why that got skipped. Or
Yes, correct. I'm sure there is a workaround, but we weren't able to figure it out in time.
Yeah,
yeah, awesome.
One personal question I would like to ask to the team is that if you did not have the 72 hours time constraint, like suppose you had a good chunk of time to work on the project, would you
yeah.
consider moving from Godot to Unity or Unreal
Uh,
Engine?
Honestly, I would have gone with Unity because
Yeah,
'cause I have worked on Unity before with friends of mine, and one thing I can guarantee is that the Blender to Unity workflow is much smoother. Even though Godot has now recently added like direct implementation of .blend files, it's still a bit finicky and overall not very comfortable to work with. However, in Unity it's much better, and Unity also has a bit of visual coding, which might also make things a bit better. But yes, in a longer time frame, I would have honestly preferred Unity over Godot. Godot was chosen for its simplicity, not for its maximum potential.
I see. Would anyone else like to ask anything to the team? Do anyone have any questions?
Um, One thing was so Cascadeur. This is like a here it's written. I've just opened. Is it CASC? Is it this one like Cascadeur
the audio software.
Oh no, the
no
animation one.
animation
Ah,
one?
okay.
So here it's written. It is use it for AI assisted animation. So is the AI no AI used claim is it false?
Uh, Actually, see, they do offer both things. Like, first of all, they have the AI assistant for the animation itself, but the more important tool, which is the one that we utilized, was simply adding physics to the animation. So, like in a way,
Yep.
the rest of the mesh bends accordingly. So those are physics based rather than AI. The AI is another aspect of it, but I don't use it for my games. I'll use it for my personal animations, but not for this game.
Okay, cool. Just asking.
No, it was good to point out. Thank you for asking that.
And for the collision thing, so you're mentioning that just having capsules collision was too intense. Like, couldn't you have like had some collision masks or something so that it could reduce the number of items where the collision checks would happen? Because
You see, the main issue with the collision was the problem was actually the enemies colliding with each other, right? Because obviously the horde wasn't
where
supposed to stack at
intense,
any point.
then
Yes, so we ended up just using simple repairs because all we wanted to achieve was that enemies don't stack. So we realized later on that collision wasn't necessary for that. We had to do was code in a way of maintaining minimum distance. And so there's still collision for the terrain and for the player, but when it comes to avoiding each other, the enemies aren't on the same collision layer, but instead they just have a repulsion vector through the code.
okay, so just
Uh, Thank you, everyone. I believe that there are no more
nearby away. Is it
questions.
something like that, or
Okay. Sorry to
I'm,
interrupt.
I'm sorry, your voice is cutting off.
I was just saying that the repulsion force is just you just have a check of like within a minimum distance. If some character comes, push that character away. Is it something like that, or
We tried
Uh,
implementing that
yeah,
actually.
yeah, 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 pretty much. Let me continue. So yeah, we had a minimum distance variable setup and also repulsion strength. And based on how, and then if you check the minimum distance and based on how much of it was overlapping, it would add a certain percentage of the repulsion strength to just move it away. So this way it wasn't very abrupt. It wouldn't snap away. So that if it's a slight distance, it would be a slighter force, whereas if they're completely overlapping accidentally, it would be a stronger force. And then this vector was basically added onto the main vector, which just made the characters move in a straight line towards the player. So there was a bit of math involved. It wasn't just direct move away if overlapping.
okay, got it. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any question for the team? I believe that's it. Thank you, Samir, and the team with him. Thank you for joining us with the interview. And I believe that concludes the IEEE Game Jam 2025 interviews. Big shout out to every team who participated in it. We have only interviewed the top three teams. However, we had seven entries, and all seven of them had great effort behind them. I personally played all of them. I enjoyed all of them, and I believe Hussain Bhai also enjoyed all the seven games that we presented to him. Hussain Bhai, apart from these three games, If you had to choose one more game, like to assign a fourth position, which one would you choose personally?
Yeah, interesting. Uh, I think yeah, Jolly the janitor had yeah, it also had an interesting use of the concept where you had to collect signals, and there was enough interesting gameplay elements that uh,
Sorry to
cool. I like
interrupt,
Lost
Hussain
Spot
bhai.
also, the animation.
Your voice got cut off. Can you repeat, please?
I don't know what's happening with Google Meet. The stream was fine, right?
Yes, yes, the
uh,
stream was completely fine.
but yeah, I was saying Jolly the janitor was very nice. It had good gameplay mechanics, interesting use of the theme, and a lot of good ideas. And also, it was animated, like for the sprites into that. So that's also honorable.
The honorable mention, the official rankings also show that the honorable mention is Jolly the janitor. So a big round of applause for that too. Personally, I really, really enjoyed Jolly the Janitor. The music, the environment, everything, it was very, very well made. And the bullet hell. Man, I believe it was Fawzan who developed Jolly the Janitor. Okay, we have a question. We have a question. Yeah. Okay, Fawzan is here with us. I would really love to talk to him for a minute.
Hello.
Hello, Fawzan.
Yes. Thank you for
Yes.
the kind words. I'm very glad to be here and to have participated in this wonderful competition.
So, like Jolly the Janitor, why a janitor?
Well, because he is cleaning up the mess that was created by the corporation Kessler 9. That was actually a last minute idea. We were not sure what to call the game right on the last day. And after thinking about what would be a catchy name, it just kind of clicked that we are going around and cleaning up all the messy signals, if you will,
Yes.
the whole kind of fixing everything part. And it just clicked Jolly, the janitor.
Nice, perfect. Yeah, the whole lore. I loved reading through the description, like a whole story and very
Yes, thank
interesting.
you.
One of the good, yeah, lore among the submissions. Like a whole scenario was painted, and an interesting scenario, and also that reflected in the game mechanics as well, like how yeah, you were getting more insane, getting the wrong signals and cleaning up the right signals. So that was also represented as a percentage meter. That was nice.
Thank you very much. I'm really glad everyone enjoyed my game. And I'm also a huge shout out to everyone who participated. I loved every single game that was created as well.
A personal question to you, Fazan. If possible, can you send me the locations of all 11 of those buttons? Because my little brother has been trying to beat Jolly the Janitor, I believe, for like 5 hours now, and he has not been able to find the last two buttons, and he's actually going insane for them. So it would be a good help if you send that to me.
Yes, sure, I could do that for you. I
Okay,
would make sure I would send the location of all of them.
okay, but do send that in my personal DM so everyone else still rages at the game.
Yes, yes, yes. I will make sure to DM you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I believe we will conclude the interviews at this point. A big shout out to everyone who participated in the competition. A big shout out to every team who put their hard work. and their efforts in making working games and submitted in the IEEE Game Jam. I was very happy with the enthusiasm I saw from everyone, and inshallah, I hope to organize another similar event in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, just few words wanted to say, like, how
Yes,
did
sir.
you get the idea of like getting the game jam and getting it within like, because during our times, yeah, we had hackathons, but even organizing a hackathon was seemed like a foreign concept because some hackathons in BTech while I was there years ago. But it while myself was I was interested in game development a lot, and I took part in a game jam, but that was more independently on the Ludum Dare game jam, which happens regularly online. But it never occurred to me to organize one in the college. So was there like a lot of enthusiasm from folks, or is it like the students are really into game making now and they weren't there before? How did you get up the idea and organize this? Yeah, kudos to everyone for
Yeah,
this.
so what happened was that we had IEEE going on here, and we had to organize a minimum of 7 events. And I was assigned one of the events. I had to handle one event, and I had the complete liberty of doing anything and everything that I wanted with it. So I thought that hackathons, coding competitions, seminars, all these things like are very common nowadays. And I believe that it's a very passive engagement kind of thing. I wanted to host something that would bring people together. You can say that something that would create a small community, a well knit community, which will have a lot of engagement and which people would enjoy. And I wanted to focus, my focus was that whatever outcome comes out of my event, it is permanent, it stays forever. Okay, so I thought of a lot of things, like it could be a robotics competition, it could be a drone make competition, but then those things get very complex and it creates a barrier which people are hesitant to cross to enter a competition. So
Right.
my plan was something simple, something which is open to everyone, and something which is permanent and something which people would enjoy. So after thinking for like 2 3 days, I came up with the idea of a game jam. Initially, I wasn't sure how many entries I would get. Actually, I sent the Game Jam invitation to all universities that I know, which included universities from Delhi, from Haryana, some even in South India. But I got no response from any other university. So I was kind of down because I didn't expect a lot of participation from AMU. But when I saw 7 teams take part and all 7 belonging to AMU, at
Wow.
that point, I was like, okay, my hard work, my enthusiasm, everything paid off. And I was really excited to see what would come out from this. And then when I came to know that out of those 7, 4 teams belong to my own department, that really boosted my motivation further.
Mm,
So
yeah.
overall, after that, we also had an issue. Initially, the game jam was going to be organized near 18th, but on 18th we had Eid, we had Sir Syed Day, and I didn't
Yeah.
want that people would skip the game jam just because they are busy. So I personally requested that no, I want to delay the game jam one more week. And I chose a date which would ensure that people would get their Saturday and Sunday in between the game jam. So everyone gets a lot of time to work on the game. Overall, I am very happy with the result this game jam has shown, with the enthusiasm everyone has shown, and this motivates me to organize similar game jams in the future, and perhaps more.
Yeah. 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 Congrats on this. I think it's a success. I also was surprised seeing it many entries and many good entries. That's the main thing. So yeah, please keep this tradition continued, and hope to see a good culture of folks coming out, trying game dev, expressing their creativity.
Thank you, Sanbai, for the kind words. So thank
Yeah.
you everyone for joining us. I will be concluding the interviews here. It was great talking to everyone, getting to know your like game ideas, the tools you used, and everything. I learned a lot actually from this interviews, and I believe Hussain Bhai also got to know of some great tools which he wasn't aware of before. We also got some great game suggestions from you guys as well, which I will definitely be trying out. So overall, thank you everyone, and hope to see you all soon again in another game jam.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Yeah,
Thank
feel
you.
free to reach out for any kind of help. Yeah,
Thank you.
bye bye.
Bye bye.